For those of you that want to know what we're all about, it's like this, y'all. This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name.
What we're going to talk about here is Marshawn Daniel, linebacker from Tustin High School, 5'11", 210, 15 pounds. When Coach Tuatelli first showed me his film, the first thing that popped in my mind was Kenny Jackson. Number 9, explosive, runs well, plays multiple positions in high school, comes from a great family, all those good things. And I really like the way that he plays and runs to the ball. He also had a couple other guys on his high school team that got recruited pretty big, and he assured me that the linebacker that plays next to him, that he was better than him. Who ended up, I think, going to Cal or something like that, right, Coach Steve? So really excited about him and the possibilities or the potential that he brings. He's probably going to end up starting off at an inside linebacker spot, whether it's Mike or Sam. It's to be determined. But really good football player, good student, recruited by UC Davis as well. So that was good that we beat them on him. The next guy, Jack Ferguson, local kid here from San Luis Obispo High School, 6'2", 240 pounds. He's a unique guy. I mean, he plays multiple positions. We don't exactly know where he's going to fit in with us, kind of linebacker, defensive end type of hybrid type of guy. Very explosive. You guys can see from his film here, he runs really well. I think at one of the combines going into his senior year, he ran like 4.65 in the 40. And like I said, he's played multiple positions. Right there, he's at defensive tackle. He's played defensive end, middle linebacker, relentless motor, and we're really excited about him. He was recruited by almost all the Big Sky schools, Montana, UC Davis as well, Eastern Washington. He was pretty heavily recruited and wanted to stay home. And I joke with him all the time about being the second best linebacker to ever come out of San Luis High. Of course, I'm number 1. But he's a great kid, great young man, good family, and on top of that, I believe he's a 4.0 student. Zach Rusick, the defensive tackle, kind of like Marshawn. When I first saw the film here, I thought of Sullivan Gross. 6'5", 255 pounds coming out of high school, very athletic. Plays multiple positions, played tight end, they flex him out at wide out, played defensive tackle like he is there, defensive end, has great feet and a ton of potential with him as well. Great student as well, and he's gonna take a little time to get used to playing full-time defensive tackle or defensive end, wherever he ends up, but we're excited about his athleticism and as well as him being able to come in and have a little bit of time to develop as a defensive lineman, since we have some older defensive linemen coming back. Right now I'm going to bring up Coach Fendel to talk about our defensive backs.
Aaron Buzos is a great player for our defense. He's got the tools you need, and you got to be fast and you got to be physical to play in our defense, whether it's corner or safety. And I think this first shot will show you some example of how he brings it at contact. He's about 5'9", 190 pounds, built a lot like Alex Hubbard, number 6 on our team right now. This kid can he can run, he can hit, and he can do all the other things that you like to see on a high school film. You see him catching the ball. He played running back, he played receiver, he returned punts, he returned kicks. And those are the things that you like to see. So on top of being fast and being physical, he's got the skills that you want, which are great ball skills. And he's had the ball in his hands a lot over his career. He's from La Mirada High School. He went to the Air Force Academy last year, so he's still got 5 years to play for. So he's a little bit more mature than a kid right out of high school. He was commit to Nebraska last year at one point and ended up at Air Force. So we got a great athlete, a good football player in Aaron, and you can see here some of the ball skills that I was talking about. He does a lot of things, and hopefully he's a guy who can who can come in here and compete right away. I think he matches up athletically with a lot of the guys we have in our program and really fits the style that we play. Next is Coach Cook.
This is Kyle Lewis. We recruited him as an athlete, a guy that can do just about everything on the football field. He can run, he can hit, and just has a knack for the game. And you're going to see a lot of different things from him here on film. We're going to actually have a noon hoops game to determine which side of the ball he's going to play. It's going to be offense versus defense and noon hoops, and whoever wins that is going to get Kyle. But he's a great athlete, very explosive, and when we got done with our season, Coach Walsh said the one thing we needed in recruiting, particularly on the offensive side, was speed, and Kyle brings just that. He's got great perimeter speed, which in pitch phase is really valuable for us. Here he is catching the football. He's got really good ball skills. He's played safety as a junior. As a senior, he was a running back, but also out of the backfield did a lot of great things as well. So you see him finish here, and he watched a lot of film of Cole Stanford on his visit, and you're going to see him block here on this particular clip, and that's kind of what Cole does right there, is bury guys, and he seemed to think that would be something that he could do, but he's just a guy that we could put just about anywhere on the football field, and is a real good play to the whistle guy. He's got a great motor and tremendous confidence.
We try to stay to the quicker, more athletic, shorter, smaller kids. But Ross is a different character, different animal altogether. He's like I said, 6'4", 285, very determined. And as you see a lot of the video, is him playing defense. And that's, we would like our offensive linemen to have played some defense. And that's a great way that for us to evaluate it. But Ross, again, he came to our camp. We've had our eye on him since the sophomore year. He came to our camp, absolutely dominated our camp, and a couple weeks later committed. He was actually one of our first 2 commits of this season. And he, again, long frame, great knee bend, very, very physical kid. And he's a Cal Poly guy. His mother, his stepfather, his grandfather, and his head coach, Coach Dan Loney, went here at Cal Poly. So a great addition to our family. Joey Cooperman. Joey's built a lot like Leffy. He's kind of the shorter, squattier, but very, very powerful, very sudden. He is an explosive kid, very powerful. He's a ball carrier's dream because he plays with a chip on his shoulder. He does not like when his ball carriers get hit. So he's very nasty, which we love to see. He plays to the whistle, and sometimes a little bit after the whistle, but that's okay. Which we like that. We like kids that have high motors, and he's just a road grader from a very, very successful high school, Cathedral Catholic in San Diego. They're a powerhouse, and again, we're excited for Joey because of that brute force he brings. He has some versatility. We see him as a guard, center type body, and again, we're excited. And as you see on the film, he's just a mauler. He's gonna get into a stance and try to physically inflict harm on the young man in front of him. And like I said, he's a ball carrier's dream. And again, another kid came to camp, did a great job. So we're excited to have him as well. The last one, Coach Walsh talked about a little bit, Sean McDonald from the City College of San Francisco. And for those who don't know, this is one of the best junior college systems in schools in America. They routinely put out 25 to 30 FBS caliber athletes, and for him to start there for 2 years, it's remarkable. We're thinking he's going to be a tackle. He's got the versatility to play both sides, right and left, and he's our first transfer offensive lineman since we've been here. So we're expecting him to play and play early. And again, he's got great feet. He's a really, really good athlete. I think when he went to San Francisco City College, I believe he was 215. Now he's a stout 280 pounds. So he came into that university or that college as an athlete. He put some weight on, was able to keep his feet, keep his balance, again, you know, we're expecting him to come on in and play early. Like Coach Walsh, he had some FBS offers and chose to be Cal Poly Mustang, which we are excited for. So, next up is Coach Cabello.
Next up, I'd like to introduce Jake Brito. Jake is a running back from Cypress High School down in Cypress, California. Jake's a big physical back, strong runner who, as you can see in the film, can also run away from some folks. Had a great high school career, rushed for over 1,300 yards, averaged 6 yards per carry, had another 200 yards receiving. He's a guy that has a great skill set. We think he can do a lot of things. Obviously, as a ball carrier, he's fluid, he can run routes. Again, he's physical. We think he can block and pass protect. Jake's a young man who came to our summer camp, and from the moment I met him, I really enjoyed being around him and excited that he's a part of our family. Think he can come in and you know, be successful and have a great college experience. He's a guy, like I said, can catch some passes. You know, in our summer camp, he started off at the H-back position and then went over with Coach AT and did some slot stuff and was impressive. Was fluid doing it all. He has good balance, good vision. He's a guy that, as you see right here on the wheel route, can go up and he has great ball skills. He can make a play in the air. He has good vision inside the tackles. And again, running away from folks. Had a great high school career. Next up, I'd like to introduce Coach Tom.
Coming up here, we have Joe Prothero, running back from Clayton Valley High School, Concord, California, up in the Bay Area. Joe is an exciting football player, and as you take a look at this first clip, you kind of see what jumps off on the film to us. I mean, anybody sees a guy running the ball with this aggressiveness, with this leg drive, that type of balance, and really, you know, physical nature and wants you to get to the end zone. You can be excited about the opportunity to coach a guy like that. You know, Joe rushed for over 4,500 yards in his high school career, over 50 touchdowns. He was in the top 10 in the state of California in rushing as a senior. So he really is, you know, Coach Tuatelli alluded about a running back's dream as far as old lineman. Well, this is a running back coach's dream as far as a player. I mean, the kid is tough, and he runs the ball very similar to Deontay Williams as far as the style of runner he is. We think that he has the potential to be explosive, and what I love about him overall is you see him finishing with the ball, and he does something that we talk about, having the ball high and tight. He's got that thing up and in front of him. He's not a guy that's going to put the ball on the turf. He's going to finish runs. He's going to fight to the finish, and he's going to also be a tough kid that's going to pass protect as well. You know, Coach Cook did a great job in really getting this guy to buy into what we do here at Cal Poly. You know, it can be a daunting thing, but when you see guys that have had success in our system, going from James Noble, Ryan Mold, Jake Romanelli, Mark Rogers, Deontay Williams, you see those guys doing things that they have done in the past here, very easy to buy into what we're about, what we're doing, and get a chance to come in here and hopefully compete for playing time. You know, he's that type of player that can come in and do things of that nature. So, pass to Coach Wood to talk to you about the wide receivers.
First guy, I got two guys this year really excited about. First guy, Cameron Akins from Cathedral High School in Los Angeles. And I think when I watch this film, you know, the first thing that really jumps out is just sudden. And I think when you sign guys, you sometimes look within the program and you find guys that are really good players, and you look for guys that you can say, hey, he can be like him. And then sometimes you look at things that maybe you don't have enough of, and you say, hey, we need something different. I think that's kind of what Cameron brings to the table. He's got that 6'2" length that a lot of big guys we've had over the years have, but he, from a flat top speed standpoint, changes direction. This kid's so dynamic with what he can do. Just incredibly excited about his physical abilities. He's got amazing ball skills when watching live. And Tom made one of the best high school catches I've seen in person. Another guy we had at camp this summer, started building that relationship very early. And, you know, really, really impressed. We kind of fell in love with the kid at camp. And excited about him. Dad's a Cal Poly grad. Cameron also, in terms of a top speed standpoint, you know, the word on the street is if he waited on signing an NLI and waited until the end of track season, he would have Pac-12 type scholarship times. He's that type of athlete. And, you know, here as well playing on the perimeter, you got to be a football player. And he also had 35 tackles this year. You watch his defensive film, the guy will come up and smack it. It's just truly not just a receiver, he's a football player and extremely dynamic. Next guy, Josh Savage. A guy that reminds me a lot of Willie Tucker, who I think is off to a really good career here at Cal Poly for us and still growing and developing. Josh is that same type of build. He's 6'1", 198 pounds. He's a guy that's extremely smooth, tremendous body control, unbelievable ball skills. Another guy that's a football player. You watch him as a junior, he had 35, 40 tackles. As a senior, he was so valuable to their offense, they just played him on that side of the ball. But those are the kind of guys that you want, on the field, competing, play in and play out. I think he's a guy that's really well skilled already, been very well coached. And Josh is extremely explosive too. He had 30-some catches for like 800 yards. It's like 23 yards per catch. That's incredibly explosive. I think he's a guy that's got some versatility for us. Not only is he kind of a Willie Tucker mold, but he could also be a Cole Stanford type of guy too. I think we see him having, great position versatility within our offense, and a guy that's going to be worth, obviously finding ways to get the ball too. You watch what he does after the catch, running through things, making people miss. He's very dynamic from that standpoint, powerful runner. Another guy that we had at camp. I mean, both these guys I was really excited about to get a chance to work with them this summer and then start building that relationship. Coach T recruiting Josh did a great job, and Aristotle recruiting Cameron. Both those guys, are coming in here. I think when you read in their bios, their take on Cal Poly, they're all in, and I think we're excited about that.